Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all rested. Rested? No. Fed, watered, happy, delighted, energized. Are we all ready for the next session? Are we all pumped? Or are we tired? Yeah, we're pumped. That's it. Woohoo! For those of you online that I cannot see how pumped you are, I hope that you're going to tell me how pumped you are in the chat. I want to know if you're excited. Are you ready for the next half of this day? Because we've got some incredible presentations coming up. The one that we have that is absolutely awesome, and I really do wish you were here in person to see Radek talk, but it's okay because he's going to deliver an amazing presentation. We have the founder and CEO of Bouncer, Radek Kaczynski. Did I say that right? Yes! And he's going to be talking about the key to deliverability. This is something that we all need to know. It's not just about beautiful email templates. It's ensuring the best way to get those campaigns into the inbox. So please, a round of applause for Radek. Take it away.
Thank you, Adiola. Thank you so much. My name is Radek, and together with Jacob, we came here from Poland. Where together with amazing team, we're building Bouncer. And at Bouncer, we truly believe that great things happen when people communicate. And of course, everyone here, as we are at InboxExpo, does know that email is a very powerful communication channel, but it has its challenges. Some statistics show that 5 to even 10% of the email addresses are not valid at the moment of entry. And on top of that, even 20%, depending on the industry, may get obsolete in just 1 year. And I promise, last statistic, among over 2 billion email addresses that we have verified at Bouncer, 8% of them were undeliverable. And undeliverable email means not only lost opportunity, but also deliverability issues that then affect our ability to get in touch with our audience. So deliverability is ability to deliver our message, and that's probably the most important aspect of this word, which is pretty difficult to pronounce, as we all know. And deliverability is being affected by many factors. And from the bottom to up, it's affected by how we set up our infrastructure, how we act, what kind of practices around email we do have, and also on top of that, the messages. But we all know it's complex. And here, a small disclaimer. Well, I don't feel myself as an email deliverability expert. I've been in the field, in this domain for 5 years, but I don't feel like I am a true deliverability expert, meaning I have never had to deal with, recovery from email deliverability disasters or super complex stuff. And but I've been fortunate enough to work with really cool customers and be surrounded by amazing experts from whom I was able to learn a lot. And as far as I feel like I'm relatively quick learner, I'm also super quick forgetter. So of course I would never memorize all those 7 factors that affect deliverability. So I had to find some pattern. Something that could help me memorize what is really important about deliverability. And at some point, it just came to me that we could put a respect in the center of everything that is involved if it comes that is connected with email deliverability. And I've built a platform which I will show you in a minute. And I've been speaking about this platform on a couple of events, but it did not feel like it's complete. And then, actually, very lately, it came to me that there's one very important aspect about deliverability, and it's community. And actually, it came to me after talking to Nelly, to Andrew, and to all the folks in the field. That this is the missing part of what I was saying so far. Well, and that moment, I wanted to thank the whole community, actually, and especially to Nelly and Andrew for putting us all together. So very short applause. You guys are making tremendous, amazing work in putting us together so that we can, with the different perspectives, with the diversity of thoughts and perspectives, just build something together, which is amazing. So coming back to the respect in a center, I feel that the respect is causing, on one hand, the resonance with our audience, and on the other hand, the reputation of us as senders. And there are a couple of factors that influence resonance, and it's of course how we manage our recipients, what kind of content and what kind of messages are we sending to them, and on the other hand, reputation is being affected by our email practices and the infrastructure. So during the rest of the presentation, I'll try to talk a little bit more about each of these. Let's start with the right side of this equation. Reputation, sender reputation is like, and we've heard that already a couple of times here, is like any other reputation. It takes time to build it. There are usually no shortcuts. We need to constantly prove that we are worth of being listened, and it's relatively easy to be lost. But there is a community that will help us to build the reputation, but also sustain it and prevent from losing it. And for example, we're super close friends and partners with folks from Email Console. I've learned a ton from them, and also with folks from DMARC Advisors. They also helped us a lot with actually getting our stuff together. So those are just examples of how different companies work together and support each other. So about the infrastructure, how is it connected with the respect? It's about caring for our resources, so respecting our resources, getting the proper setup of our infrastructure wisely chosen, authenticated, which is super important, and open for feedback, and also a respect to someone else's resources. So stuff related, for example, if it comes to the volumes, the amounts, and the timings that we send out our messages. If it comes to deliverability experts that are here, they definitely can help us with setting up stuff together. For example, Jana Tori from Email Console, she's running the project Let's Authenticate the World. And she's for free, just helping companies all around the globe to set up properly the infrastructure. This is super important and probably have been emphasized for a couple of times here and in general lately. But just to give you a perspective, why is this important? When we are setting up when we care, when we show the respect towards our resources and we care for it and we authenticate it, we not only are showing to the, protecting our reputation, but also showing to the world that we are that we are who we are, so that it's not someone who is impersonating us. And maybe very short example of how, for example, we had problems with authentication. In Poland, we've got this saying that a shoemaker is walking in with his shoes with holes. So for a very long time, we did not set it up properly. But then with Jana Tori and with Lars, they helped us to get stuff together properly. And very soon after that, as we are running email verification and we are very exposed to all kind of fraudsters and spammers that want to use our service. We're trying to prevent them. They were trying to find the ways to actually get into our platform by pretending that actually they are sending an email from usebouncer.com, from our IT department, to myself, trying to convince me to click and log in and reset my password so that they could get our admin account. And that kind of stuff is happening all the time. And if there wasn't a DMARC properly set up, probably I would get it in my inbox, and who knows what would happen. Fortunately, we did have that set it up. Switching to the email practices, this is this lower part of the reputation part. We definitely have to respect both our resources so that we don't exploit them, but also resources of others. So, for example, we should be controlling our sendouts, respect the limits, and also have consistent and predictable volumes so that the whole world that is receiving messages from us can actually prepare to digest and to serve the messages to the recipients. And here, very quick example, why is that important? Lately on the mail operators mailing group, there was a case of a small brand from the fashion industry that is sending their marketing materials only a couple of times before the expos, and their customers love getting their messages and hearing that they will be on some expo, but because they don't send any messages in between, any emails in between. For example, Google doesn't know. Well, this is just one part of the problems that they have been struggling with. But for example, Google didn't know that they can expect a higher volumes of messages from this particular sender. So that was one of the reasons why their all messages have been landing in spam. And we definitely need to monitor and improve our deliverability. We definitely have to respect feedback and set up the feedback loops. We need to honor improvement suggestions and as well prevent and react to bounces. If it comes to monitoring, the tools like, for example, Email Console, there's much more. The Glock apps and other folks, also our competitors, are providing pretty sweet platforms to monitor deliverability. This is really important to see what's going on and to be in the continuous improvement mode. And the community will help for sure, and there's plenty of experts that will help us set it up. Also, if needed, even connect us with the ISPs with whom we might have problems, or who might have problems with our sendouts. And let's remember that also postmasters are human beings on the other side, and they will help, especially if we do have our stuff corrected and our practices corrected. We can always reach out to them, and they will help us to figure out what should we do to recover from the disasters. Let's move on the resonance side. As the resonance is being accomplished when actually we build and foster strong relationships with our audience. Meaning when we actually build a community of our customers or our subscribers that is interested in what we have to say, but we need to have a full understanding of what are their needs and whether our messaging is aligned with those needs. And we should definitely always deliver on promise, which means if we said that we're gonna be, that they opted in some certain type of the messages that we were gonna be sending, we should deliver on that promise and not necessarily go for the shortcuts and completely switch the gears and send out completely different contexts. And we should never have hidden intentions. We should be fully transparent of what we plan and what will we be delivering to our audience. The content and the form is as well super important. And of course, sometimes we look at our, in our marketing tools on our audience, on our subscribers, and we sometimes might, being focused on what we've got to say, we might forget about who is that person that will be receiving, and that is actually not a number but a human being. So we should be trying to maximize the value and also respect the time and energy of those people who will be going through their inboxes and receiving our messages. And the content should be of the highest quality. We should strive for the highest quality, both for humans, but also for machines, meaning, for example, spam filters that are protecting those humans and their time and energy and focus from spam. And just a very quick example of one of our customers, they're actually a VC fund, and they recently have been raising additional funds, and they've been reaching out to the angel investors that they've been working with, and they noticed that, well, all their messages are landing in spam. And when we started analyzing the case, we checked their domain reputation, the IP reputation. We were even looking at the messages that they're sending, and those were pretty solid, pretty clean for the human eye messages. And we actually didn't know what to do. So we reached out to Jana Tori, and she just immediately looked at the HTML, and the HTML was super dirty. That dirty that actually in one sentence, the font, even looked for the human eye, looked pretty similar, but the font was changed. So Google was putting all their messages in the spam, and I asked the folks, hey, how did you craft this message? They've been sending it actually directly from their Gmail account, and they said, well, we just crafted in Word and just copied and pasted it in the Google, and this is how we've been doing for a long time. So it was a rookie mistake. Of course, no one from this crowd would do that kind of rookie mistake, but it's just to show you, that some stuff, some silly problems with the, with our patterns may cause the fact that our messages will be landing in the spam, because the machines were trying to protect those human beings from potential spammer. So to summarize about the content in the forum, we should try to have it clean and clear, with good balance, with links that work, maybe not necessarily a ton of links to different domains, definitely not to the shortening URLs, and always unsubscribe option, if possible, on the top, so that we give the potential to the subscriber to just change their preferences. And we should listen to the feedback, all kinds of feedback that is available to us via metrics. So of course, look out at our statistics, remembering that it's not, for example, if it comes to the open rates, it's not about the exact number, but rather trends, because they have been skewed for actually long time, even before Apple introduced security improvements. We should also look at the signals, so engagement, how does our audience engage, and direct feedback from the customers themselves or from the subscribers themselves. And we should also properly manage our recipients. We should be trying to do the wise segmentations. We should have a holistic approach on the whole customer journey. So maybe different type of messaging when we get to know each other in the beginning of our relationship, and maybe different tactics and different approach when we already know each other really well. And we should also be continuously keeping our email lists, for example, clean, hopefully in a just a natural, organic, holistic way. We should also try to correct and capture the correct information at the moment of entry. We should be identifying the changes, but this is very connected with the feedback. And here's an example, very recent example from one of our dear customers giving us the feedback about actually a change, but it wasn't a change about his preferences. It was change in our behavior. Just to maybe a short digression, we're doing email verification, but we believe that in ideal world, email verification solution should never exist. So we try to do it as easy and as simple as possible to the end user, hopefully actually having some kind of features that are related with list cleaning capabilities inside their email service providers or marketing automation solutions. So we've got this customer that is running his small CRM, and he's running a small company, and 5 years ago he connected with our API and is providing some kind of email verification solution inside his platform. And he has been like a really good customer for a very long time. But lately he got frustrated with us, and it was because actually we changed our approach to email marketing. So we started to serve a little bit more content to our audience. Before like actually it was me who was doing the email marketing. So I suck at marketing. I also suck at sales. So I was just, randomly sending out some messages to our customers about new product improvements or some discounts or whatsoever. But when we got some processes, marketing operations in place, we actually forgot about those dear customers that are other MarTech solutions using our API, and we did not create a specific segment for them. So Adam, because Adam just got frustrated with the fact that he got used to the fact that we're just sending 2 emails a year about the product improvements, or probably a little bit more, but suddenly out of the blue we started to shooting like once a month or once 2 week messages that were not actually resonating with him. So he was a dear customer, so he just connected and said, hey, I just got frustrated about that. You guys have to change it. He even shared some suggestions of what kind of information is he interested in. And it just showed us that, well, it's Adam. We know him for a very long time, so he did care to tell us this feedback directly, but there's probably more of customers that just got frustrated with us making a mistake in the segmentation aspect. Additionally, we definitely need to show the respect for unsubscribe requests and, of course, managing bounces. But also, while probably a cool practice is to give the option to unsubscribe, but also maybe mention how they can resubscribe when they change their mind or they change the context and they are again interested in receiving some messages from us. So to summarize this part, the recipient management, we actually could or even should treat our subscribers as a community around us and try to, of course, segment them properly and maximize the value, and then this resonance will definitely show up. So coming back to the full picture, I hope that right now, after this 20 or something minutes, you will agree with me that when we will respect each other, when we will respect our time, energy, and attention, and respect both our and someone else's resources, the deliverability will come and will be a result of that. And of course, the community like this one, like in general, the email community will definitely help. So thank you for attention. If you guys would like to contact me, you can send me an email, of course. And if you guys would like to just chat, we've got a small booth. We still have, I guess, some swag to give out. So see you there, I hope.
Amazing. Am I on? Amazing. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Can you? Yes, you can. That was my Beyonce attempt. Thank you, Radek. That was amazing. Thank you so much. I think there were a lot of great insights in your presentation about deliverability and how, marketers can use these different tactics to make sure that they are, one, respecting their community, but also landing in the inbox. Do we have any questions? I obviously always have one to kick off with, so don't you even worry. I've got you, don't worry. Okay, so you mentioned actually that resonance is something that is very important. Just on the basis of, resonance, does the content have an impact on your reputation and inbox placement, or is it something that we should just be mindful of? What's your opinion on that when it comes to resonance?
It has been evolving. Like in the old days, probably we all heard about the spam words and anti-spam filters being just focused on some part of the content, or the ratio between the imagery and the text. Those are, I believe, to some extent still applicable, but it's right now the email service providers, they do their job amazingly well if it comes to noticing, and predicting of what kind of messaging or message the thought that we've got to share will resonate with the human beings that they protect. Right. So it's probably less important than the old days. It's still a very important aspect, but right now it's more about the engagement. It's more about how we resonate and our history with the human beings in our subscribing list. Okay, so that ties more into like what you were saying in terms of treating them as a community, listening to them and looking at the keys, the signals that they send you so that you know how to manipulate that list, right? Definitely. Okay, I like this. And then one other thing, you mentioned an example of someone who was sending high frequency. So they went from not sending too many to then quite a lot of emails. Would you say for those in the room that even if you want to ramp up, if you have a big message or if you know a big message is coming, do you feel or would you advise for someone to gradually ramp that up to the point where they get to the point of sending the big message, or does it not matter as much? Should there be a strategy around that, or? I believe that there should be a strategy and should be like a holistic approach to how we change our tactics and our strategy. Okay. The most important thing is, well, we assumed that everyone will be interested in, getting information that that we're having some deals, right? This is true. Very We're not doing that very often, but we assumed that everyone will be, and Adam was not. He wanted to pay the full price and actually not having that. I think that, well, if we can as well observe the signals, the metrics, but sometimes we can just ask. And maybe if we are changing our approach, it might be worth to just let them opt in again, even though they are already on our mailing list. Just mention. I know that that probably the conversion rate will be lower, but it might be a good idea in some circumstances to just ask our audience, hey, we're planning to boost, a new tactics or new marketing campaigns. Would you be interested in hearing from us the tips for the marketers, for example? That's a good idea. And I think what you're saying is very much in line with what we've been hearing in terms of community, putting the subscriber at the heart and making them feel as though they have a choice. And, opting in or opting out of relevant communications, again, is one of those ways, right, to prevent impacting your deliverability. I feel like everybody has an Adam on their database, and I guess if it wasn't for Adam, you wouldn't know to apply this tactic. So I'm really thankful to him. You're thankful to. So everybody must have an Adam on their database. So if you have an Adam, don't be like, oh my God, Adam, just do something else, okay? Do something else. No, let's listen to Adams, okay? There are Adams everywhere, so let's pay attention to them so that we can also bolster what we do. So if there are no other questions, please thank you. Help me give a massive thanks to Radek. It's amazing. Thank you. Don't worry about that, don't worry. Okay.